in that space, and it's a way better way of looking at the idea of pivoting.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think some people pivot holistically.
Yeah, because that's the way that it's framed. Is I need to pivot and pick everything up and leave, but in reality, it's like maybe repurposing, maybe looking at a different way we can use the cow.
Sure,
you know? There's like other areas here.
Yeah, I mean, we've grown a couple products out of this company in our lifetime here, and so you'll see if.
Welcome back to the Super Secret.
Shh, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody.
Nobody. Okay, so what did we cover in the main episode?
Today, this week,
yes,
is Jensen Huang of NVIDIA.
NVIDIA.
Or NVIDIA, I guess some people say.
NVIDIA.
Which is obviously a GPU company. They make microchips and all this fun stuff. And Jensen started the company back in '93. They've been making GPUs since '95 or '96. And they, 1,000x'd over the last like 5 years or something.
It just
like that.
took off. And the positioning is crazy. I mean, they saw the AI boom. They positioned themselves. I think he said recently, he was like, look, man, I'm trying to be in every spot that Elon's at. I love how, like, unabashedly honest he is about what he's trying to do, where he's trying to go and how he positions himself.
He just knows that for everybody else to get their goals, they have to go through him.
Yeah.
And so he's like, yo, go through me. Buy some of my products.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah,
the positioning.
Sell the shovels.
Yeah.
You know?
One thing that we didn't talk about in the last episode, which I thought was really interesting, is how they basically reuse the rest of their chips.
Ship the whole cow.
Ship the whole
cow. Which means
ship all of it.
If you're butchering a cow, don't let any piece of it go to waste. Something that, for anyone who's grown up on a farm or anything, like, you'll know very well, we'll eat every part of that cow. Or every part of the animal. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't waste something like that. Same thing with the chips. The ways that these chips are manufactured, they're on the nanometer scale. Nanometers. Like, we're talking, you need like a magnifying glass with its own magnifying glass to be able to tell, you know, how these circuits are actually built into these chips. And so when you're working at such a scale, there can be some imperfections. And those imperfections are just basically randomized things where maybe some material gets soldered onto the wrong spot. That doesn't let a connection complete. And so instead of the connection completing right where it is, maybe that connection has to go a roundabout way throughout the board to get back to that other spot, right? And it's completely random. They're at the nanometer scale. And so even like a little bit of compound that might get soldered somewhere else is going to mess up your chip. And so these chips can't be used for the enterprise clusters that they support. The clusters that run X, that run Tesla, that run Amazon, right? But they're really good, and they're still high-end chips that can be used for consumer grade processing. So like your GPUs and your gaming PCs. And that's how they sell the chips that don't make it into their enterprise clusters to consumers, by just marking them down because they are a little bit less powerful just based on those nanometer scales. And then they let the consumers buy them, which wasn't a thing before. They didn't really have a whole lot of people buying GPUs until NVIDIA came out and was like, yep, here's a dedicated GPU for your computer. So yeah, I really, really like the whole ship the whole cow piece of it, because you never want to waste anything. There's something else that happened a couple days ago. I was talking to a family member who's in the demolition business, and he does the same thing. He goes, yeah, man, like when we demo a building, most of our revenue comes from selling the things inside that building.
No kidding.
We'll rip the copper lines out. We'll whip all the wiring out. If you left a fridge, we'll take that fridge and sell it.
Yeah.
Because that's actually where more of our money is made, not in us taking a sledgehammer to the building.
That's so interesting.
It was really interesting.
I never thought about that.
He said there are some contracts that his company will pay for to demolition the building
just because of what's inside.
Because of what's inside.
Oh. Shit,
it's very interesting. It's all about shipping the whole cow.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, how can you make sure that you have... which is so interesting, because next week we're covering Bernard Arnault.
Yeah.
And they literally will
destroy the cow.
Because they're like, we're not shipping that thing, and we don't want anybody to have that.
Right.
Wow. Interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah. I like that one, though, shipping the whole cow.
That's really smart. And I'm just, like, in my mind right now, I'm thinking about how to... apply that principle
to
some of the other things that we do.
For some things that we do, right? So the fact that when we interact with our leads, because we do have a couple of clients, we built our in-house CRM. We built an entire CRM in-house for us to do our custom tracking. And of course, there are CRMs that we could have bought, whatever. But we have the technical chops to do that. Now, if we were to open up that CRM to other people, now we're talking about selling the whole cow.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's like, and the Amazon version of that is web services. They basically open sourced the things that they're using. And I would almost say like a way of thinking about it is, even with contents too, we push a lot of contents on here, but internally what we've discussed is, okay, if we're going to be generating revenue from clients in service-oriented SaaS with clients, then we have to, you know, have that be in alignment with the software that we're making. And so the natural thing was to say, okay, how can we use our software to support some of the clients that we're working with in terms of supporting their marketing needs. And we have a lot of productivity stuff, because this is really just supposed to be something that can really help an entrepreneur organize and monetize their ideas. But if we're the entrepreneur who's servicing another client and we use these tools to achieve results, then that's like kind of our secret. But if we open source the tools, the contents platform where other people can use it, then it ends up being something where we're, you know, selling the whole cow. Shipping the whole cow. But yeah, I think like the main part though is like the aspect of open sourcing internal tooling is like a really straight lined way of applying
open sourcing tooling, repurposing materials that you might have thrown away, or just rethinking about how you might actually get revenue out of something that might be labeled as trash.
Just changing the label of it, which is, I mean, we're talking about it right now, and it was kind of like an offhanded thing but I'm just thinking about how little people do that and how powerful of a concept it actually is.
100%. You know, no, go for it.
I was just going to say, we talk about pivoting a lot. But this is exactly in that space, and it's a way better way of looking at the idea of pivoting.
Ooh, that's interesting. Because I think some people pivot holistically.
Because that's the way that it's framed. Is I need to pivot and pick everything up and leave. But in reality, it's like maybe repurposing, maybe looking at a different way we can use the cow. You know? There's like other areas here.
I mean, we've grown a couple products out of this company in our lifetime here, and so you'll see, if you've been with us eternally, the same tech stack is repurposed for some of these things.
It's like, okay, well, we know the cow, so we know we can use it for this thing and not that thing. And it might not always be about food. It might be about like the skin here or something else that can be used in a different way. What were we gonna say though before I talked about the pivoting?
No, I just the one pivot story that I remember hearing was Scrub Daddy. He built a sponge that sat in his basement for years in a box labeled trash because nobody wanted to buy it. And then he randomly got on Shark Tank with the product, and I think it was a couple other investors that like saw it, and it blew up to $1 billion company that he is now.
That's crazy.
And he was telling the story of like, I had these in my basement for years, labeled as trash because nobody wanted them.
And then you turn around and it's like, oh, that's a hit.
And it's the same thing with Munger, right? There's $1 million ideas in a $30 book.
It's like knowing how to look for it. It's there's that quote, it's not Munger, it's Lex Luthor in Superman, but he said some people look at a bubblegum wrapper and
see a joke.
And then other people look at it and unlock the secrets of the universe. And I think it's just a testament to our ability to interpret a situation, perceive it, and then make it actually like useful. And it's like how we're looking at the things is way more important than what we're specifically looking at.
I like that one a lot.
Okay, let's go on to a couple of these Jensen things. Ship the whole cow was a great one. Strategy is action. I love that one. He said, strategy is not what I say, it's what they do. That's a big one. I love that.
Strategy is action. I like it. I also think there is a space for planning. Right? Like there is a spot where I guess your action is the plan. Right? Or sorry, like the action is coming up with the plan. Not the actual plan itself, but the process of coming up with the plan
is part of the strategy.
It's part of the strategy because you are taking action. Yeah. So I do like that.
Yeah. So like we're planning now and then we're taking that action. But yeah, I just love that one because I love bringing things into the space of action.
Yes.
And like it's something that I've like when we talk about learning, I'm like learning is changing your action. Yes. Can you do something differently? Can you if you're teaching somebody, can you get somebody to change their action? But then also here with strategy, it's like let's look at the actual action and not speak in these large, weird, grandiose terms that sound great, but when somebody says, okay, what do I do now? It's like, I don't really know. It's like the only time we can speak in those terms is when we know for a fact everybody understands the same underlying actions.
Right.
And then from there, it's like, okay, now we can speak at a higher level. But I love that base level. Like to me, that's the basics. Whenever things start to get lost at a higher level, it's like, okay, go back to the actions. That's the basics.
Yep.
And the fundamentals, and that usually recenters things.
100%.
Go to school on everybody. That's what we talked about with going and learning your stuff. Choke it with gold. Highest priority first. That's really cool.
What do you think he means by that?
I'm very hierarchical. So it's a hard word to say, but in terms of like value lists, right? Start with the number one top thing, what's the best thing, and then the worst thing is at the bottom, and then prioritize.
Sure, that to me was very straightforward, but do you think there's anything else he means by that? Just feels like a really basic.
Well, what he said, I heard him say is that if some people would be like, there's a million things to do, and from what I remember, his interpretation is, if there's a million things to do, that means that you're not focused on the top priority thing. Focus on the top priority thing and lock in on that one thing. And I think the relevancy comes down to, I mean, we're pretty like on top of that stuff with trying to like prioritize, etc. But when you see other people where they're like all over the place, or people that like are really suffering from ADHD because they're being pulled in different areas, I think that's the exact opposite of what he might be.
That's interesting.
Saying with
it's
that.
Interesting that you have to say that to me.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the weird part to me, is that you actually have to say that.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like, oh yeah, guys, like show up to work on time. Mm-hmm. Like I shouldn't have to say that.
Yeah. But we've been in client meetings where we were like, write down your values. And by values, I'm saying your priorities. Like, what's the thing that you're spending in like energy on?
Yeah.
Value, like, has been abused. I'll say, not even just been used. It's been abused as a term.
Yeah.
But it's the thing that you place a value on. It's a thing that you find important. It's a thing that you care about to the point where you're willing to spend energy, if not in the form of money, in the form of time, in the form of attention. Mm-hmm. And so having like a reference point for what's important is literally your value list, but it's also our priorities. And so that's the way that I'm hearing it. It is like just constantly reinforce like, hey, write down your values, write down what's important. And again, like going back to some of the client meetings that we've had, it's like we do have to sit there and be like, hey, focus on what's important, and if we're talking about content, let your content come from that.
Right.
Let your work, be focused on that. And that it opens up a lot of free energy, because now we're not, focusing unnecessary time on things that are less important. And I think another thing to add to that is, it doesn't mean neglect everything else, unless that's what the situation calls for. Mm-hmm. But it lets you know, okay, if I'm spending 20 or like 80% of my energy on an item that's fifth on my list,
what are you doing?
Right? It's like there's something that's off. Either I need to bump that up the list because that's how I actually feel about it, or I need to manage my energy differently and focus on what I'm prioritizing.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me. Everyone in the team has their own priority. And that's where it's very interesting to me, and something that, we had to bang our heads against a brick wall for years, talking about, we're going to talk about the priorities of these things. It's just like, everyone's got their own priority.
Everybody has their own. But that's where I think there's really power and alignment.
Exactly, and that's where it's valuable, where it's like, okay, everyone might, but we're all here for this one thing.
Yeah.
And so let's try and push that forward.
Yeah, and going back to what he talked about with criticizing publicly, I think a big part of it is, like, we mentioned it before, but I think it's worth jumping back into real quick, is what are you criticizing? I think the number one thing to criticize is alignment in like the value alignment. So if there's a clear misalignment on the values, like if we all say that we value clear action-driven language, which is like just something that we were just talking about before.
Yeah.
And somebody starts talking about like in broad terms without specifics, then it's okay, we're misaligned right now. And if there's a negative fallout because of that, it's because we're not aligned on like what we need to be doing here.
Right.
Or if somebody's like in charge of a meeting, like this is where like if you're an employee and you're talking with your boss, it's okay to critique your boss about misalignment.
Yeah.
Or I don't know where to align on something. Like that's something I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. That's something where I think it's you can criticize publicly and feel like empowered to do that because we're bringing us back onto mission.
Yeah, I like the alignment. I also like lack of action.
Yeah.
Being able to, hey, like you guys didn't take action here.
Yeah.
We want to see some action.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting is like filtering out when it's appropriate to publicly criticize. Because I can guarantee you he's not criticizing you for everything.
Yeah.
What did you bring fish in today?
Yeah. It's like, my God.
Burgers again?
Oh my goodness gracious. You know?
But yeah. That's a good one.
And then there's the there's two more that we could probably do.
Okay.
One is Lua, listen, understand,
act.
And act.
Right?
Pretty self-explanatory, but I like it.
It's a like common theme.
Yeah.
That going through some of Jensen's things is like, let's listen.
Yeah.
And then obviously let's act.
Yeah. And let's understand. It's like if we're not answering the question, let's bring it back, let's ground it, listen, understand, act. And then the other one here is the mission is the boss and pilot and command. I think that has a lot to do with accountability, responsibility.
Listen, I know that Jensen, the way he operates his projects, he puts a pilot in command. That's one of the titles at the company. So for any major initiative, he has a pilot in command that he'll be able to go to and get status updates, to be able to see, you know, to be able to check the alignment and all that stuff. So it's really interesting because I think that is the ultimate boss to him when it comes to those projects.
And it's like, yeah, exactly. And I think it's like that onus is on you. So know that.
Right.
I'm coming to you. I had one person say to me, it was like, hey man, talking with you, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me, okay? And I'm like, okay. But you feel it a little bit when somebody says that.
I wasn't planning on it.
But now that you say that, I'm like, oh man. But it's like, it is a good thing, I think, obviously within, reason, right?
Of course.
But there is that level of accountability, especially in big organizations, that's necessary because people love to pass the buck.
Oh my God.
And I've seen that with a small business owner I know too. It's like, he was just dealing with somebody that made a mistake and then was scared of getting called out.
Yep.
And so they just lied, which is the worst thing to do. Yeah. It's like, again.
Yeah, because then I'm not operating with the truth as the leader.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go off the rails because I think this happened.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
Exactly. And it's like, if we just tell the truth early and up front, then we can all make more intelligent moves because we're dealing with accurate, real information.
Right.
And I think the person was scared that, she would have gotten called out and fired. But really the boss was like, no, I just want to make sure that I can correct a mistake earlier if I can see it. But if I don't know where the mistake came from or why it's happening, or if I find out about it a week or two later, then,
And honestly, the lying is probably more the fireable offense than the actual thing that happened.
Yes. But man, Jensen Huang is a character.
And he's still running his company. So we're going to be able to do more episodes on him as he continues to be the backbone of all the AI infrastructure that you're seeing nowadays.
Just hitting his stride. And I was saying before, like, I didn't think that he got his flowers for how impactful that he's been, how impactful his career is. I think it's because a lot of his stuff was front loaded.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, the opposite of front loaded. Like a lot of his success is more recent.
Right. It's like now that AI is such a big thing. Yeah. He's been able to 100x, 1000x his business.
And he's in the right space, and so like I think we'll see more of him in the coming future too. Like I think he's just kind of getting in his groove right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Great week, man. We'll see you next week for another super secret Founders Drive. Peace.